Hi everyone, my name is Shauna in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be making a prophecy orb. I got this at a Harry Potter event a couple weekends ago. It'll probably be more like 3 or 4 weeks by the time that this video is uploaded. There is a McMinimans near my house that always has a Harry Potter event for Harry Potter's birthday weekend, and I went, and this was from SPEWW PDX. They've had various names over the years. There was one that combined PDX and Expelliarmus together. I could never say that one. And then there was just the Harry Potter Alliance, the Portland chapter, and now they're called SPEWW PDX. So I didn't actually see what an example was of this, and it makes 2, so I'm only gonna make 1. So let's see how this goes, and hopefully I can do this fairly quickly, because for some reason I decided to start filming this at 2:40 at night. We got it open. So there's a message in here about the nonprofit. It says, "Thank you for supporting SPEWW. We are an all-volunteer nonprofit that works to defeat the real-life dark arts, both with our greatest magical tool, love, and activism. Through charitable fandom events and magical activities, SPEWW unites witches, wizards, and muggles to build an inclusive, supportive community. We put your galleons and dollars to work where they're needed most." So if you want to learn more about the organization, I'll link their website down in the description below, as well as their Facebook page and their Instagram. So it reads, "We aren't all destined to defeat a dark lord, meaning not all prophecies are life or death. The hall was full of all kinds of prophecies. Here's how to use the items in this box to create your own." So there's 2 different Christmas orbs, so I will put one to the side to do that one later. Probably will do that one with my little nephew. There are tea lights, putting one of the tea lights to the side. Paint. Yes, I think it's paint. And what is this? The cardboard tubing is a stand for the prophecy orb. Oh, okay. We're also going to use the tissue paper, it looks like, or other paper if we want to cover it. These are the labels. Okay, this is going to be a multi-day project. So first part says, "Use your foam brush to paint the inside of each orb half with silver paint. Where you decide to place your tea light will determine how many coats you need. You can add it to the orb itself, in which case you want more coats of paint so you don't see it inside, or you can add it to the base, which will make it easier to turn on and off, and you won't need as many coats of paint." I'm gonna put it in the base, I think. My thought process is, if I paint this and then I'm constantly having to open and close it in order to turn the light on, it might chip some of the paint around the edges. So I'm gonna put it down below, and I'm also gonna use less paint because of that. This looks very white. Let me go get some paper towels to make sure I don't get my workspace dirty. Okay, we have this on the workspace. I have this that's a little shiny material, so I don't think it'll absorb the paint, so I'm gonna put some of the paint right there. I don't really know how many coats I need, so this is gonna be a little experimental, I think. This paint is very sheer. It's very sheer, and you can see the brush strokes. Maybe if I dot it, then there's little dot marks. Okay, to make the process faster, I'm just gonna put some paint directly in here. Could also be that I end up just doing this one as the tester one, and then I can have a second try out the other one. This organization is always at Portland cons, so I could always get another one of them later. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe I'll try and let it dry in between coats and see if that helps. I've used an orb before for a project. The project's actually sitting back there, one of these orbs, and I've painted it. And I had to use paint that was a lot thicker, denser, I don't know what it is. A lot less sheer is how I'll word it, in order to get it to work for what I needed it for. Oh no, mine's already cracked. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna do more layers of paint. And once I get it to a coat that I like, then I will update you guys next. Just for a little reference. Ooh, it's blue! Just for a little reference, that's what it's looking like so far. So I think it needs to be a lot thicker. So I've done 2 coats, but it's been about, you cannot even see that on there. Trust me, it's been about half the bottle. There's 60 in here, and I have about 30 left. It's not looking great, but I can see the vision. And I'm debating whether I want to add more coats of paint or whether I'm just going to buy more paint for the second one. But I'm going to turn off my ring light so that you can see what it looks like in the dark, because in the dark is a very different vibe than in the light, you know? Because in the light, it looks like this, but it looks different in the dark. This is what it looks like in the dark. I feel like it's giving the correct vibes. And I mean, there's things I definitely do differently about it. Like, I feel like the stand is pretty tall. However, I think it mostly works. I think I'm gonna leave it like this and save the paint for the rest, now that I keep looking at this. But that being said, I do want to do the other parts of the craft. Use the cardboard tubing to create a stand for your prophecy orb. Use as is. Cut and glue or tape a portion of the tissue paper included. Color with markers. Paint with the included paint. Give me a sec. I'm gonna look up what the prophecy orbs look like in the movies to figure out whether I want to add the paper or not. So in the movies, it's like a serpent design at the base. And the thing is, I don't want to do like gold or like bronze or whatever colored. Okay, this is stuck. I was trying to make it even. I don't want to do like gold or bronze paper, so I'm just going to do some of the black to make it look a little fancier. Hopefully this will work. I don't know if it'll work. And then this little thing, the little stand, I'm gonna attempt to write what's in the movie. Sound good? I think that's the plan. So let's glue this onto this. I actually did another little craft project recently and it came with glue, so I'm just gonna use some of that glue. I did one of those like wood / like cardboard puzzle things. So I think the strategy is, I think I'm gonna cut a strip and then roll it around. And then I'm gonna tuck the sides here, I think. And then, actually I might not need to glue it. I might glue it just to be extra secure. Only problem is this might be too much paper. I don't know if the flame will still stick in here. Let's test if this still fits in. Perfect. I'm just gonna add like a little dot of glue, but technically I don't really need any glue. Bam, and then I'm just gonna write on here really quickly. I have to stop recording for a sec because I'm gonna try and make it as close as possible, at least color-wise. It's gonna be my own handwriting because I suck at doing other people's handwriting. But color-wise, I'm gonna make it as close as I can to the movie, so I'll be right back. Okay, I made the nameplate. Basically, it's just Trelawney's initials, and it says to Albus's initials because she obviously said it to Albus, then Dark Lord, and question mark Harry Potter. You know, I always find that part so interesting about the book. And it was something that I struggled to understand for a while when I was reading the books, which is that like the question mark of whether it was Harry, about the fact that like prophecies can only predict the future to an extent, and Voldemort is the one who picked out this future by choosing Harry over Neville. Like after he made the conscious decision to go after Harry instead of Neville, nothing could ever be changed to reverse the prophecy, even though the prophecy could have been like said to refer to more than one child. I always found that really interesting. Anyways, let me turn off the light really quickly to see what it looks like with the stand. Here's what it looks like. I think I like it better with the black because it makes it look more like it's just like floating in midair. You know, I really like it. There's been a couple other ones from SPEWW PDX that I've done that I've really liked. Oh my god! I would say that in terms of my other favorite ones that I've done, I really like the Pygmy Puff one that they have, but my favorite is probably the Monster Book of Monsters. And I liked how they had a variety of colors, so that the colors to some extent also matched up with the book colors of the Monster Book of Monsters and not just the movie colors, which I thought was really cool. So I am gonna put this away because I know that my cat is gonna cause problems. She was already laying on this as I was writing the little plate, and I have to figure out where to put this, but I'm sure I'll find somewhere to put it on display. And then this other one will be safe to do with my nephew. I also sort of like how it's like mixed too in all of their little craft boxes, because it makes it so you can do it with a friend, or like if you have two kids who are both into Harry Potter, it makes it so that both of the kids can do one and you don't have to buy like multiple boxes in order to make sure that each of your kids can do it, you know? So that was really all for this little craft. I just thought it'd be fun to do it in video format. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. As I said earlier, if you want to learn more about SPEWW PDX, all the information for SPEWW PDX will be linked down in the description below. They do a lot of Portland events, so if you're at events like Rose City Comic Con or Fan Expo Portland, you are bound to find SPEWW PDX. They normally have booths there and they have some pretty cool displays there. It's an organization that I really like and that sort of has reclaimed the series from the author and has created more of a very accepting and tolerant community that is apart from the bigotry that the author constantly spews online. Anyways, I could go on a rant about J.K. Rowling for eons, but I have to go do some schoolwork now. So I'm gonna go work on some schoolwork, and I upload a video at least once a week, so I hope that I'll see all of you in my next video next week, and until next time everyone, goodbye!